Hey everyone, welcome back to the Ultimate Men's Hairstyle Guide. So far, we have now covered the buzz cut, the crew cut, the textured crop, the quiff, and the pompadour. Today we're looking at another timeless classic, the slick back. If you're looking for a hairstyle that's clean, confident, effortlessly sophisticated, the slick back might exactly be what you're looking for. So let's go ahead and dive in. So what is the slick back? The slick back is exactly what it sounds like. The hair is combed or brushed straight back away from the face. Unlike the quiff or the pompadour, the focus isn't on creating height and volume. Instead, the goal is a smooth, controlled look that emphasizes clean lines and polished appearance. Today, you'll see slick backs paired with everything from the classic tapers to the modern skin fades. Some of the examples are going to be a little bit varying. They don't vary as much as some of the other haircuts, but you'll notice there is quite a bit of difference. And again, a lot of it comes down to how you're going to fade the sides. Do you want like a skin cut or a classic taper on the sides, for example? You want a medium, low, high fade when you do that. You can have like a matte finish that's a little bit more relaxed, or you can have a really sort of a textured and shiny finish depending on the product you use. Like if you want to use a pomade, you could create a lot of shine for that as well. The key here is that the hair flows naturally backward from the forehead. Really simple. That's what actually defines the style here. So the history on the slick back, it's been popular for more than a century now. Not quite as old as some of the others, but it became especially famous in the 1920s and again in the 1950s. Today it's worn by actors, entrepreneurs, athletes, and professionals because it projects confidence, maturity, and style. Unlike many trends, the slick back has never completely disappeared. So who looks best? The slick back works best for men with oval, square, or diamond faces. Because the hair is pulled away from the forehead, it's best if you have a reasonably balanced hairline. You're really going to be exposing your hairline here. If your hairline has receded significantly, there may be better options that create more of a visual balance, like some of the other ones that we talked about, like the crop or something. So the best hair types for slick back is going to be straight hair, slightly wavy hair, thick hair, and then like medium density hair. You'll also need to get a lot of length on top. So this is definitely one of those haircuts that you need to work with your barber for multiple visits. Grow the top out, but also while you're doing that, make sure you're working in the side. So if you're trying to do a fade, you're going to want to make sure that the length of your fade on the side is correct, right? In this case, this guy is doing a hard line from the sides up. That's pretty easy to capture. There's a lot of times when you're trying to do this and you're growing the sides out, you get to some awkward stages, but you really just have to kind of keep working with your barber, especially with this long of hair. It's going to take you months to get the right length. Some of the pros here is that it's timeless. It's a timeless haircut. It's kind of hard to go wrong. It looks incredibly polished, right? So unlike a lot of these other ones that have messy sort of volume look to them in a good way, the slick back just has a really clean and polished look. It's perfect for professional environments. It works equally well with a suit or casual clothes. It's one of the most easiest hairstyles to dress up for formal occasions, right? Again, very clean look if you're wearing a suit. Also very easy to manage as well. Okay. The cons is that it does require a lot of length, and that typically takes quite a bit of time to grow out, especially if you're coming from one of these other haircuts that we had talked about earlier. It requires a lot of styling product, which, probably not a big deal. But depending on your hair type, you may want to use a blow dryer to keep everything in place. Make sure you're keeping the form down so it doesn't bounce back up. If your hair is very fine or extremely curly, achieving a traditional slick back can be quite a bit more challenging, right? So styling, so just start with slightly damp hair, apply a small amount of pomade, styling cream or matte paste, depending on the finish that you want, like I mentioned earlier. Use a comb or a brush to direct the hair straight back. If you want additional volume, like you can add a little bit of volume to these. I think I gave some pretty good examples of how you can have like, so this guy's got a little bit more volume compared to where this is a little bit more heavy product and slicked back. This guy's especially slicked back, and then if we go to this one, it's much more natural looking, right? It kind of falls down on the sides. That's all fine too. Okay, so if you want to talk to your barber about this, what should you say? Just come in and tell them, like, I'd like to get enough length on the top. Again, it might take multiple visits over maybe 6 months or so to get the length right. And then just slick it straight back. Keep the sides shorter with either a taper or a low fade typically, and then just blend everything naturally. You also want to make sure you leave enough on the length so that the hair sits comfortably without sticking up, right? You do typically want to blend it in a little bit. Simple instructions like these will help your barber create a perfect slick back for you. So let's get to the hair score. Firstly, style. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Like I said, it's very clean, classic, and sophisticated. Maintenance is like a 7 out of 10. It's not too bad. Not like some of like the Pompadour, which I gave a 5, which requires you to use a blow dryer, grate a lot of volume. This you might want to use a blow dryer, but you're really just trying to get the hair to stay flat, right? It's a very professional looking haircut. Versatility is like 8 out of 10. There may be some situations where it doesn't work great. Some people may not like having long hair, especially if they're very active, right? Works for most men. I would say like a 7 out of a 10 for, just requiring the right amount of length. Again, it's going to expose your hairline. So there's a few things that you need to consider. Overall, I'll give it a 5 out of 10. Like if you're looking for a really timeless hairstyle that projects confidence and professionalism, the slickback is definitely an excellent choice. So that wraps up today's episode on the slickback. Next time, we'll cover one of the biggest hairstyle trends of the past decade, the undercut. We'll discuss why it's become so popular, who it works best for, and whether it's right choice for you. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Be sure to subscribe. Let me know in the comments. Would you choose a slick back or a pompadour? And why would you do that? All right. See you guys all in the next episode.